but that stage is over. Question. When the present body wears off, will Ramdas come again? Answer. Yes, he wants to, not because of any compulsion, but for the joy of Leela. Question. Does Ramdas get tired of him or feel dejected when his body is ill? Papa. Ramdas enjoyed being pestered with questions. As to illness, he was not well yesterday and the day before. You had better ask these friends if he was dejected. Papa says, one of the ways of controlling the mind is, this is very important, that is why we have taken up this. All of us are facing this difficulty even when the chanting is going on, whether it is vocal or mental. Even during that period, it's turbulent. Though we have been training the mind to go along with the name, many times it is felt that though the chanting is going on, the mind is also going on. So here he says, one of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases. But he should identify every object of his thought with God. So when the object minus God dimension, God means what? He wills. He has willed. Any object has to come from somewhere. So Bijamam Sarvabhudanam, when we are trying to understand intellectually that everything owes its origin to him, objects, persons and situations. These are the three areas where the mind goes. So Papa says, don't worry about it. Try to see that it's God. One of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases, but he should identify every object of his thought with God. Then the God consciousness alone will remain and the object as such will disappear. This is true of every thought. That all the while God thought alone, the ultimate result will be that all the while God thought alone will rule supreme in the mind to the exclusion of all other thoughts. This practice brings concentration and tranquility to the restless mind. Verily, the whole universe is his manifestation. The divine is seated in the hearts of all beings and things. Beings and things. Ramdas has tried this method himself and found it most helpful. Everybody is hearing? We get an answer now. Answer at the outer level. Because this is one of the main problems all devotees or sadhakas are undergoing. Each one is passing through various disciplines, like trying to still the mind, trying to hear our own chanting, trying to feel the gap between the two thoughts, two mantras, trying to raise our concentration from the Mooladhara to the different chakras. So many things. And we are earnest, but in spite of all that, the mind goes out. And we feel we are unable to concentrate. Papa's method, seemingly it is easier, but at the same time it is also tough. Because so far we have trained our mind to identify an object as an object. Now we are talking, in English. Suppose somewhere in the corner of our mind, when there is no language in the world, you brought through your selected instrument this English language. So you have selected and you have brought it. So I am using only what you have given. And I myself am a product of you. So like that, suppose we do that some exercise. Suppose we see an object in our mental vision or a person. Papa says you try to go to the origin of these. That is why in the last line he says, the divine is seated in the hearts of all beings and things. And he brings about situations. So along with our discipline, suppose we also try to bring in this, probably it might help us. Just like Papa says, when you are chanting, you should keep on reminding that you are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. Then the chanting does not become an activity. Does not become an activity divorced from God concept or God vision, God dimension. Very much with another method is to stand apart and be the witness of the mind. When you say that you cannot control your mind, you unknowingly feel that you are not the mind. All that you need, therefore, to do is to watch the mind stand apart from its antics. The mind will then gradually wear itself out and get stilled. So, two methods. One, to attach everything to him, because everything has come from him. Intellectually, we have understood that. When we were in the form of a tiny little seed, in the mother's womb, now we have got this more than 200 odd organs, each one functioning differently. So if that single seed can bring out varied functionings, the mother seed can also bring out varied, Think. Mango is not jackfruit is not apple is not something else, banana. All these things are varied fruits, varied spices, varied pulses. Just like in our body, eyes are not the ears, ear is not the tongue is not this nose is not the skin, hand is not like the leg, like that, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, each one is functioning differently, but all in one body. So if a tiny little seed can bring about this, the Adi Bijam can bring out varied. So suppose during our past moment, suppose we keep on reflecting, and when we sit for something and the mind goes to some other object, probably the mind may be able to tutor. The evolving mind will be able to tutor the restless mind. That this is also a form of God. This is the clue Papa gives. The other one is to stand apart. So that during the chanting, rest of the activities we should try. Definitely during the chanting, when we keep on hearing our own chanting, it wells up. Wells of what? That we know that the Nama is being chanted. We know that the Nama is being chanted. What is that knowing principle? No? So this is second method. Happiness, as the world understands it, consists of possessing and using. But the Bhakta's happiness is not of that kind. For him, remembering God is happiness. Forgetting him is misery. So when he forgets God, he feels like a fish out of water. Such bhakti is called Ananya Bhakti. Such devotion can be secured through the contact of saints. When this stage is reached, the devotee becomes one with God and bhakti terminates in jnana. Jnana is the flower of the tree of which bhakti is the root, vairagya the trunk. When the self of the devotee merges into the infinite consciousness, he reaches a stage in which the whole universe is apprehended as the dynamic manifestation of the same static, calm, all-pervading reality. This is the acme of spiritual achievement and is called parabhakti. Bhakti is the root, vairagya is the trunk, jnana is the flower, parabhakti is the fruit. So when we are on this journey, our mind, because it has not been trained, it will make us feel that it is disturbed. It will make us feel that it is going past the objective. It makes us to feel that I am not getting concentration, I am disturbed, I am distracted. This feeling. So here Papa says two activities. One is that we try to identify everything as a form of God, and the other one is to feel separate from it. Witness, Sarvadi Sakshi Bhuta. So we have to try this in our own life and see to what extent it helps us. Just because we hear, we will not be able to train our mind. We have the practice, we should do it. So in this he has also mentioned, probably we can store it in our mind. The spiritual journey is nothing but these four. Bhakti is the root. And here bhakti means the sense of individuality is convinced that it exists because of the indwelling and all-pervading reality called Bhagavan. Indwelling and all-pervading reality, Bhagavan. So to develop this, you are there, but I am not aware of your presence. Why don't you please make me aware? This is bhakti, Please, I cannot do it by myself. Unless you help me, I will not be able to. You are with me, you have been with me intellectually, I am thoroughly convinced. Without life, without consciousness, without intelligence, I cannot stay for a 1 second. So you are with me, you have been with me, but I am not aware. To become aware of it, I have only techniques which are useful for outside journey. For inner journey, I don't have the technique. You have given me an intellect. That intellect can think only of objects, nothing on the subject. And this is a subjective journey. The other one is an objective. So I don't have any facility, I don't have any capacity to take to this inward journey by myself. Whereas with the equipment you have given, the intellect, you have made me to store so many things in my brain, and then with that You have made me to witness so many things, and then guidance comes from all those things. Outside activity. But for an inner journey, I am unable to. Because this is aimed at the very subject. There it is aimed at an object. So here you please help me.
There's some disturbance in the sound only. Tick, 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 tick sound is coming other than that.
Somebody.
Is everyone receiving some disturbance in the sound? Nobody's responding.
Yes, there is a lot of disturbance.
There's a lot of disturbance. Maybe it's this which is causing the disturbance. Did I switch the
Here, some disturbance I can
No,
see.
no, that is just the sound. It's showing that the sound is coming. That is not disturbance. I think there's some other kind of disturbance.
Fan?
I don't think it's a fan because fan sound is different. It's something else. Because let me move this fan out. I would doubt this is this.
Now do you feel?
It is still there.
Still there. Still there.
So
The noise is still there.
Then this is not.
what sort of disturbance?
Kit, kit. Whose mic it is coming?
Huh?
There's some kit 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 sound coming.
Let it be there. Let,
Rainwater falling.
let it be there. Are you in a position to hear?
They're feeling it is rain.
Yes,
Oh.
Rain falling, that is there. It is raining outside.
Yes, Swami. Yes.
Acha, okay. That is a problem.
Fan.
Okay.
Even if it is tick tick sound, let it be there, na?
Okay, Swamiji.
Just know what Papa says. Rain is also caused by him. The sound caused by rain is also him. So like that, he wants us to test it now and here, no? Are we concentrating on the so-called labeled disturbed sound or the theme? Acha, okay, now coming back. So that is the starting point. Bhakti is the root. So my yearning, my appealing, please help me to take me to this inward journey to feel your presence. Acha. The second one is Vairagya. That means I should be able to give space for God thought in my mind. When the space for creature comforts occupy my mind, naturally I will not be able to give space for Him. The more I concentrate on Him, automatically my priority towards my creature comforts will get reduced, which we have seen even in our Vyavaharic life. Any activity in which we are engaged, when we are wholly concentrated upon it, the other one gets, I won't say dropped off, at least the priority gets shifted. Even if somebody has placed the coffee here, we would not have taken the coffee because no space for it excepting the purpose for which we are doing it. So similarly, when we try to take to this inward journey, if it has become intense, naturally our mind will be receding from the outer.
Now that means it is a signal to noise ratio.
It's a signal to noise ratio. What is it, Auntie? It's a signal to?
Yeah, signal to noise ratio. Because we want to listen to you intently. We are not aware of the background noise. That means my signal should be very sharp.
Right.
Not the noise.
Yeah. So he is testing us. He is testing us whether we are concentrating on the so-called labeled disturbed noise or the noise which we want to hear. we take it like that. We take it like that. So anyway, so the vairagya is that. Vairagya, let us not jump into the conclusion of leaving everything and going everywhere. No. When we prioritize something, automatically the lesser one will get either postponed or dropped off. So bhakti is the starting point, root, where we intensely pray. We have understood He is with us. So we plead. The bhakta pleads to the Bhagavan. Please help me. For that, I should make more and more space for Him in my mind. That means the other things get less prioritized. Vairagya. Then he says, Jnana is the flower. To get more and more clarity. So Jnana means what? He is consciousness absolute. He is life force. He is intelligence absolute. From that everything has come out. He is the original Bijam. So like that, to dwell on his origin, he is the sustainer, he is the originator, he is the sustainer, and ultimately he is the destroyer. So Jnana is the flower. And then when we travel that, what will be the fruit? Seeing him everywhere, which is called Parabhakti. Not concentrate, not limited to one. When we normally, when we say bhakti to a deity comes. That is not what Papa means. Devotion to the Almighty. The Almighty is represented as a deity. That's okay. If we take it like that, no problem. But unknowingly, unwittingly, we localize though we, in various hymns and shlokas and archanas, we try to bring that he is the Antaryami, he is the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. All those things we say, but unknowingly we localize the God concept to a particular form. There also unknowingly, we are not that sincere because we don't get transformed by going and having his darshan. Our thinking pattern, our life pattern exactly remain the same. It doesn't change. So these four aspects Papa today touches. And two methods. One is to accept everything as intellectually accept first. When the mind goes to different objects, different persons, different situations, when we sit for concentrating on on a particular line, remembrance of God, we feel the mind is going out. So at that time, Papa wants us to hammer this to our own mind. The evolving mind should remind the wandering mind, wavering mind. And second is to simultaneously we try to feel, we try to know, the consciousness when it wells up, what happens? Knowing principle. The knowing principle knows that chanting is going on. So that is another method. And he talks about the 4 stages in this journey. So start with, if these are there, the mind cannot go anywhere else. Because he is omnipotent, omnipresent means, omnipresent the word, all pervading. He is present in everything. I am unable to accept, but I will keep on hammering this. Somewhere in the corner of our mind, these should be there. Everything, every object, every individual has come from that. Question. Of the many saints that one meets, how can one recognize one's own guru? Papa, you need not bother about it. Your heart will tell you. Question. But very often the heart is a fickle guide. It attaches itself to various people. Papa, what does it matter? Guru is not a body. Question. But some maintain that one must be loyal to one's guru even as the wife is to her husband. Papa, if you see the same guru in everyone, the question of disloyalty does not arise. Question. Why is it that many who come to a saint, only a few are attracted? Does it depend on the receptivity of the aspirant, or is there a selection on the saint's part? Papa, the sun shines equally on all, yet its light is reflected variously by various objects. Is there any partiality on the part of the sun? The same is the case with saints. Those who are prepared more receive more. Yet Guru Nanak says that grace is omnipotent. It does not depend on the adhikara of the disciple. If it did, it would not be. If it's so, it would not be all powerful. What has Ramdas to say about it? Papa, Ramdas thinks that as a rule, grace works under limitation. But it can certainly transform even the hardest sinner in an instant by a mere glance or a touch. It is quite possible. However, that in such a case, the preparatory stage was passed in the previous life. Anybody would like to say anything? Anything else?
Swamiji, the sound is so disturbing, nobody can hear anything.
Huh?
Nobody is able to hear anything.
The sound is very disturbing, it's not audible.
Not clearly.
Not really. You're able to hear, but not clear.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
I'll just see.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai
Just 1 second, we
Jai
just see, no?
Ram Om.
See.
Something is happening.
See,
Can you hear?
Is it better now? Yes. Sound is better, clearer? I'll hear that and come.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Is it clear now? Huh?
It is.
No, it's a little better, but not.
No, for them it is clear, it seems.
Disturbance.
Disturbance. He is telling Gauri Shankar uncle has disturbance.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Is it clear?
There is lot of disturbance.
There is lots of disturbance.
Shraddha, if you can exit and relog in.
Yeah, that is what we'll try to do that. We'll just try to restart the system, Swamiji. We'll restart the system. Maybe the mic in the system is having trouble. No, uncle, there's a problem with the mic in the system. I'll bring this one. I'll bring mine. No, just put that one inside.
That's why they were not able to reply, When we asked them anything, they did not reply.
Somebody can use this one instead. This is videoless. It's still there. See, this is sound coming.
Hari Om. Sound is still there?
Yes, it's still there.
Huh?
It's still there.
பேசும்போது வருது சாமிஜி.
Huh?
பேசும்போது வருது.
பேசாக்கி வந்துடுறோம்.
Swamiji, we can try it from this one. We can see where the sound is coming from there. You close it from there and then see. Only problem is this laptop doesn't have video. Can you hear now? Is it? Yes. Is there any clarity? Better clarity now? Okay, but you won't be able to see, Swamiji. That's the only problem. I'll bring the other tablet and come.
Yes.
One minute. I'll bring the other tablet and come.
Thank you.
You were able to hear about Papa's, the 4 stages he explained.
Swamiji, please repeat. இன்னும் ஒரு வாட்டி படிக்கலாம். நல்லா இருக்கு.
நல்லா இருக்கு.
இப்போ கிளியரா இருக்கா படி.
என்ன நல்லா இருக்கு? கேக்குறதுக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு. Papa during his travel Chennai alwa. 27.
இது நம்பர் இல்லை சுவாமிஜி 27. இது மாதிரி நம்பர் 27. சென்னை.
స్వామీజీ సగుణ రూపమానమే.
సగుణ రూపం వేణం.
1 minute.
స్వామిజీ
Saguna Roop will come in a minute. 1 minute.
நிர்குணத்துக்கு அல்வா போனோம்.
குணத்துக்கு ஏற்கனவே போயிட்டு இருக்கோம். இதற்கு பேர பிரைஸ் போவா.
You think you have to pay the price, Baba?
One of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases. But he should identify every object of his thought with God. Then the God consciousness alone will remain and the object as such will disappear. The language has come from him. The language as such will disappear. The language, God's form, God comes out in the form of language, in the form of sound, in the form of objects. So one of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases, but he should identify.
Audio.
Oh, audio is
Audio.
muted. No, that doesn't have touch screen.
Mute ಆಯ್ತು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. Okay.
One of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases, but he should identify every object of his thought with God. Then the God consciousness alone will remain and the object as such will disappear. This is true of every thought. The ultimate result will be that all the while God thought alone will rule supreme in the mind to the exclusion of all other thoughts. That is the advanced state. We as sadhakas, we keep on trying this. Because everything has originated from him only, no? So somewhere in the mind we have to keep on hammering. That bijam mam sarva bhutanam, it has to come back to us every now and then. So whenever we are in a sattvic mood, whenever we are relatively free from any involvement, whenever the mind is becoming receptive and open, then we try to somehow fan this thought which he has given. That whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we touch, whatever we taste and whatever we smell, whatever we think is nothing but he in different forms. That means minus he, there is nothing. With he, everything is there. Like that, we keep on tutoring our mind. It might be intellectual initially. So when we do that, we infer from Papa's words that we will not say that we are disturbed. Because the so-called disturbed thought which portrays, depicts an object or a person or a situation is also, they also owe their origin to God. Straight away when we sit, it may not be possible. So we keep on reflecting upon this, contemplating upon this during our sattvic moments, during our say early morning. For 5 minutes or 10 minutes, suppose we dwell on this, the impact will remain, to some extent. So it is very important for all of us. This practice brings concentration and tranquility to the restless mind. Verily, the whole universe is his manifestation. The divine is seated in the hearts of all beings and things. Samam sarveshu bhudeshu tishtandam parameshwaram. No? In Bhagavad Gita, how many times he has mentioned this? I am there in everybody in equal measure, in everything. Bhuteshu, no, not me. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishtam. No, in 15th chapter, he again hammers this, Sarvasya. I am there in every. And human being is a hridi sannivishtam. So we keep on thinking about it during our sattvic moments, when the mind is somewhat receptive. And then when we sit for the labeled discipline, like morning when you are in ashram, you will go there and sit in bhajan hall. There are specified programs going on. So when we involve ourselves in that, we can watch the antics of the mind. So whenever the mind complains that it is going out of the subject, immediately suppose we are chanting Ramnam, we are chanting Guru Stuti, we are chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, we are doing bhajan, we are hearing the words of wisdom of Papa, something like that, no, some activity will be there going on. At that time, if the mind feels not comfortable because if it feels it is not concentrating on that particular program, going in some other ways, then Papa wants us that don't get upset. That is also the form of God. What you are doing now as a labeled program, that is also God. No doubt we should develop concentration. But in this way, Papa says, the object as such disappears. That word is very beautiful. Not that the object will disappear, the object as such will disappear. Immediately we will think, oh, you have come. You have brought it out. What is that word? Remember, Mataji says, when she was identifying with her, what a beautiful thing you have wrought, WROUGHT. So she was keeping everything, and then, oh, no.
Meet Sukanya Mami and Narasimha Mama, we also hope that his health is steadily improved.
As I went on doing, Mataji says, as I went on, doing what Papa had asked me to, I began to identify every article I saw, be it a flower or a piece of cloth or any other article with its source, namely Papa. I saw with its source, namely God. Object also we are seeing. So she says, as I went on doing what Papa had asked me to, I began to identify every article I saw, be it a flower or a piece of cloth or any other article, with its source, namely God, Papa. She names God as Papa, that's all. Then, wherever Papa is mentioned as Ram, she is mentioning, she replaces the word Papa, that's all. And to tell myself what a beautiful thing Papa has wrought. Gradually, as Papa's thought filled me through and through, the void that pervaded all around me permeated my mind also. This would then ensue long spells of void or utter blankness of mind between the two thoughts. Practical clue from Mataji. So how to develop, he has answered now through Mataji. So when I see any object, I see it with the source. That's what Mataji says. So this we have to keep on practicing it. Not only when we sit with that idea, during our entire activity, somewhere we should keep on trying it. Otherwise, it becomes a compartmentalized activity. We don't reach anywhere. So every day, suppose we set apart 5 minutes, 10 minutes for all this, then probably it might help us. Otherwise, it will not help us. We only stop with hearing. Manana is not being done. Only Shravan. So this is the point which Papa today is raising again and again. Very important point. One of the ways of controlling the mind is that the devotee should let it go wherever it pleases, but he should identify every object of his thought with God. Then the God consciousness alone will remain, and the object as such will disappear. That means when we look at this screen of the laptop, though the whatever is displayed goes on changing, somewhere I should also know that there is a change in the screen there, because of which only these changes I am in a position to see. Somewhere I should develop some method by which I become aware of the screen. That is God. That screen is God. Changes are the creations. Normally it is difficult. When we look at the screen, we only see the object which we want to see. We don't do that now, but just like when you open this, everybody will say only there are some letters. Nobody will say that there is whiteness is there. So along with this, I should now try. The whiteness is there. That is why these letters stand out. So when I go, I should not complain that I am missing the whiteness. We are not missing the whiteness. Is it becoming clear? You see this?
Yes.
The whiteness is there, but as soon as you show, people will only say there is letters. Though the whiteness is the base, we hardly recognize the base. We are carried away by the letters, the projections, that which stands out. So now Papa says, along with that, okay, it's all right. You also try to see the whiteness behind it. Without the whiteness, this will not stand out. At the moment, we are only seeing the letters. We are carried away by it, the theme contained in it. So hardly we concentrate on this. But now Papa says, or Mataji said in her thing, along with that, with its source. Here some extra effort is necessary. We may not be able to do throughout the waking state. Not necessary. But at least for a few moments in a day, suppose we try that, see for ourselves the outcome. A few moments. The sound that you hear, is what comes out of that infinite silence. So when the sound is there, only we understand that we recognize the sound. So that is why we have been asked to chant his name. All these things will emerge out of that. Sound can exist only on a soundless basis. That is why in between there is that silence. So Papa's own words are, the sound that you hear is what comes out of that infinite silence. When we repeat the mantra aloud, we tune ourselves to the sound produced by it, and through the sound we enter into the perfect stillness within us. So sound and silence, Object and its source. Whiteness and the words. These things, we during our sattvic moments, preferably in the morning, suppose we spend about 5 minutes or 10 minutes intensely and see for ourselves how its impact helps. Okay, before we close, we used to remember the items, At least one we will say. Oh, அது காட்ட முடியாது அல்லவா? Anybody remember the last one? Huh? But see-through covers. Okay, we will take mirror. We will take mirror. A mirror reflects our outer appearance, showing us exactly what stands before it. But it also offers us a deeper lesson in self-awareness, encouraging us to look within. Just as a mirror can only show a true reflection when it's clean, our mind must be free of ego and judgment to reflect truth and love. When the mirror is cracked, the image distorts. Just like when our minds are clouded by negativity distorting reality, the mirror invites us to pause, clear out inner world, reflect honestly so that we can see clearly and respond with wisdom and compassion. You have to apply your mind. Dictionary. A dictionary holds the power of words, yet it speaks nothing by itself. It waits for the seeker. It teaches that knowledge does not shout. It simply is, ready for those who are curious and humble enough to look. Papa. Every word inside points to understanding, just as every experience in life carries a meaning if we are willing to search. The dictionary reminds us wisdom is quiet, patient, always available to those who value depth over noise, encouraging us to be still, seek knowledge, embrace the quiet strength of understanding. It will not tom-tom, Though it contains profound, sublime teachings, it does not tom-tom. We go to the dictionary. And once we know the meaning of a word, we don't go to the dictionary. So the dictionary enables us.
From ignorance to knowledge it leads.
Ignorance to knowledge.
Ignorance to knowledge.
Correct. Suppose we have got confusion about one particular word, it clears it. Only when we approach. And once it is cleared, we don't have to every now and then look. Dictionary is a dictionary teaches a lot.
We see synonyms and antonyms.
Huh?
Synonyms, antonyms.
Ah. More of it tomorrow. Okay. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Pranams. Pranams.
Huh?
Pranams. Namaskar.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Pranam. Hari Om. Hari.